Hi everyone, it's Gio for footballbook.ca. Welcome back. It is divisional round week of the 2011 and 12 NFL season. Once again, I am taking an extra day to do my video. It worked well for me last week as I went 4-0 against the spread last week and 3-1 with my over-under numbers. I took copious amounts of the man's money. We're going to do the same thing. Here are my picks. The first game we're going to look at is Saturday afternoon at 4:30, where San Francisco hosts New Orleans. The Saints are actually 3.5-point favorites on the road. That number is 47.5. Now, the Saints are on fire right now. They've won 9 straight, and they've covered 9 straight. But if you look at it, 8 of their last 9 games have been played in domes, either at home or they played a game in Atlanta. They played a game in Minnesota. The games that they haven't played in domes, they haven't done very well. In week number 1, they lost to Green Bay. They only put 23 points up against Jacksonville. They won but didn't cover in a 30-27 win at Carolina, and everyone puts 30 points against Carolina. They lost at Tampa Bay, where they only scored 16, and then there was that Tennessee game where they only put 22 points up on the board. This team is not very good outdoors, not very good on grass, and they're going to be facing by far their very toughest defense in San Francisco, who has the #1 defense in the league. If I were Coach Harbaugh, I'd leave the sprinkler system on for this game to further slow down New Orleans. We'll see what happens. I just don't know if New Orleans could have picked a worse opponent to have to play this week than San Francisco. I'm going to say that the Niners will win this game 20-17. So take the Niners plus 3.5 and take under the 47.5. Second game on Saturday has Denver going to New England, where the Patriots are 13.5-point favorites at home against the loosey-goosey Denver Broncos led by Tim Tebow. That number is 50.5. Now, these two teams have already played. It was back in week 15. The Patriots won 41-23. Denver made a lot of mistakes in that game. They missed an extra point. They fumbled at their own 19, which led to a field goal. Tebow fumbled once, led to a touchdown. They muffed a punt at the end of the first half, which led to a gift field goal. And they let the Patriots score a meaningless touchdown to make the score, worse than it really was. Who have the Patriots really beaten this year? They've faced only 3 playoff teams all through the year. They did beat Denver, but they've lost to the Giants and they've lost to Pittsburgh, a team that Denver beat last week. As a matter of fact, the Patriots have lost their last 3 playoff games, including their last 2 at home. Last year, as 9-point favorites against the Jets, they lost, and the year before they got blown out by Baltimore. They're just not hungry. They haven't won the Super Bowl in 9 years or so. But Tom Brady is just not hungry anymore. He's got 3 rings, $100 million in the bank, a beautiful wife, a new house in Los Angeles, and he's just not hungry. Denver is, especially led by Tebow. And, he's 5-1 straight up on the road this year, and also 5-1 against the spread. New England's actually only 0-3-1 against the spread following a week off in their last 5 games. This is simply too many points to lay against a playoff team. Now, if you can't bring yourself to put money on Tebow, don't bet against him. As a matter of fact, they could easily win this game. I'm going to take a big shocker, which won't be a shocker to a lot of people who are Tebow fans like myself. I'm going to say that Denver will win 33-30. So take Denver plus 13.5 and take over the 50.5. The first of the Sunday games is at 1 o'clock as Houston goes to Baltimore. The Ravens are 7.5-point favorites at home, and that number is really low. It's 36. These two teams met back in week 6. The Ravens pulled away with it at the end, and they won 29-14. Houston was without Andre Johnson in that game, the wide receiver, but they did have Matt Schaub. And now they're going to be going with the rookie Yates, who did very well to win his first playoff game ever. But that was against another rookie quarterback who had spent the entire week throwing up. I think between Arian Foster and Johnson, they'll probably be able to score about 14 points or so on Baltimore's defense. But I think the Ravens win this one going away. Look for them to beat Houston by a score of about 28-14. So take the Ravens, lay the 7.5 points, and take over 36. And the fourth game, maybe the best game of the year so far at 4:30, has the New York Giants going to Green Bay, where the defending champion Packers are 7.5 point favorites at home, with the over-under number being 53. These two teams played back in Week 13, if you remember. It was in New York, and had it not been for some bad play clock management, the Giants might have won that game. As it was, Green Bay pulled it out with a last-second field goal. They played last year in Green Bay, and in that game, the Packers really put it to the Giants, and maybe that's why the spread is really high. But if you remember that game, and I do, the Giants had 6 turnovers. Eli threw for 4 picks that day, and I don't think that's going to happen in this game. I think these two teams are very evenly matched offensively. They both can score a lot of points. They have tremendous receivers. The Giants have found their running game at the right time. Now the running attack is helping Eli Manning set up play action and going to his big 3 receivers. The best unit by far is going to be that front 4 of the Giants, who are just playing great now that they're all healthy. I just think that it's too many points to give up 7.5 in this situation. This will be a very close game, probably decided by another last-second field goal. I don't know what the score is going to be, but I think it will be high. I think one team will win by 3 points. Let's say Green Bay wins 33-30 in this game, but they won't cover. So take the Giants plus 7.5 and take over 53. Okay, so those are my picks for this week. Good luck to you. Hope you do as well as last week when going 7 out of 8. And I hope you comment on my video. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. And good luck to you for footballbook.ca. I'm Gio. Let's take more of the man's money.